I'm a big Bollywood fan, by the way.
Okay.
तो मुंबई का बहुत दिखाए जाते हैं मूवीज में, लाइक बट दिल्ली मैंने एटलीस्ट इतना ज़्यादा नहीं देखा. So how would you compare Mumbai and Delhi? And obviously all the movie stars live in Mumbai,
Yeah.
right? So how would you compare the two big cities?
I think two big cities are wildly contrasting.
Okay.
There's a rivalry, by the way, between Delhi and Mumbai people.
It's like Karachi, Lahore. हमारे यहाँ भी
pretty
बहुत
much.
है.
Pretty much. They say we are the best. They toot their own horns.
सही है.
So there's a rivalry there.
मैंने ना मूवीज में और स्पेशली जो सोशल मीडिया से मतलब देखा है कि एक अंबानी स्कूल है.
हाँ जी.
धीरूभाई अंबानी स्कूल.
Yeah,
तो
yeah,
उसमें कोई भी जा सकते हैं, सिर्फ आपकी एक सर्टेन वेल्थ होनी चाहिए क्या वो जा सकते हैं?
I'm pretty sure like they won't advertise it that way,
Okay.
but I think no parent will try to send their kid in a school like that without having the financial backing.
Okay.
Because I think the kid will pretty much morally die with the
Yeah.
amount of pressure that comes in. So like
the pressure to
wealthiest-
fit in their
Yes.
group, unfortunately.
Yes. So I think that is the barrier
ठीक है.
in that sense.
तो मेरी फेवरेट टीम कौन सी है? RCB.
Really?
And the sole and I think majority, so obviously Pakistani players don't play in the IPL.
Yeah.
और जो भी follow करता है उसकी majority Pakistanis की I assume favorite team is RCB because of Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
We're such big Virat Kohli fans. Like
Same here.
मतलब अभी जैसे Champions Trophy हुई थी, right? So
Yeah.
and obviously India didn't come to Pakistan to play.
Yeah.
And the only reason we wanted India to come to see Virat Kohli live
Yeah.
in Pakistan. And imagine like he scored a century against Pakistan. Imagine if he had scored a century against against Pakistan in Pakistan, usko standing ovation milta hai.
I'm
Literally
sure.
because of the fan following that he has.
Actually, मुझे I like that guy. That opener guy that you have. I'm forgetting his name. It's at the tip of
Sam
my tongue.
Ayub,
Sam Ayub. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I love him.
जो अभी injured हो गया
I
था
love
अभी
him.
recently.
I love him. I think he didn't play the Champions
Injured,
Trophy.
he was injured. Hi Nishant, क्या हाल है?
All good.
Thank you so much for coming.
Long time, yeah.
You're the first non-Pakistani guest. Wow, so a very
Honor
special
man.
podcast today.
Honestly, it's international now. Eh?
Absolutely. आप मेरे बॉर्डर के उस पार से भी मेरे कुछ सब्सक्राइबर्स होपफुली आ जाएं.
Yeah. Same for myself.
Absolutely. Or how's life? How's work and everything?
Life's okay. Work's not so okay. I mean, it's corporate life in Canada, so I'm still learning the ropes.
हाँ. जॉब के होते हैं मसले. Like one day you're having the best day of your life. Second day you're like यार मैं कहाँ फंस गया हूँ.
Yeah, pretty much.
But chalo, no, thank you so much for coming. And let's just dive right into your early life, right? So where were you born? I assume you were born in India, but कौन से शहर में? What school did you go to? और इंडिया की लाइफ एक्सप्लोर करते हैं, फिर we'll just come to your Canadian life.
Sure. I was born in New Delhi, the capital.
Okay.
And early schooling, I actually jumped a lot of schools.
Okay.
I think my father was not in the army, he's a doctor. So even though they were never satisfied with my schooling, अरे ये school अच्छा नहीं है. Let's switch. I actually ended up doing 7 schools in the 12 year of
7
grade
schools.
1. Yeah.
And सारी schools दिल्ली में ही थी या was it like different cities?
So mostly सारे दिल्ली में थे. There was a one stint grade 7 to 8 वाला where I went to a boarding school by myself. Just because I wanted to taste that how's the boarding school life.
अच्छा, बोर्डिंग स्कूल में I'll just tell you a funny story कि जब भी बचपन में हम शरारत करते थे ना या कुछ हम करते थे तो अम्मी बोलती थी कि बोर्डिंग स्कूल भेज देंगे.
हाँ, same.
So और वहाँ पर बहुत ही गंदा खाना होता है. So is that true?
नहीं, both of the things were not in my case. In fact, it was my mom who convinced me कि there'll be sports, there'll be extracurricular, go and explore. My father was always against it, and the food was in fact amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, but I could only stay there for 2 years, and then I thought कि high schooling मेरी should be like properly tutored होनी चाहिए. I should focus on my studies.
Sorry, but ये schools इतनी change करने की like reasoning क्या थी?
मैं बताता रहा हूँ, कभी my parents were not happy. इस school की English अच्छी नहीं है, इस school का extracurricular अच्छा नहीं है, इसके teacher अच्छे नहीं है. कभी मैं नहीं होता था खुश. मेरे play school भी 2 थे. तो
अच्छा, तो like your parents were never satisfied with the school, the teachers, and like यार the best school होना चाहिए हमारे बच्चे के लिए.
We kept like tried to upgrade to the best of levels.
In India में is there a focus on speaking English? Because Pakistan में ना ये होता है कि parents कहते हैं मेरा बच्चा बस अच्छी English बोल ले.
हाँ.
ठीक है, तो इंडिया में भी होता है कि बस English बोलने आनी ही चाहिए.
I think when I was growing up, yes, it's still there. I mean, we still have the colonial hangover.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, even in the job market, if you're not speaking well, if you're not well versed in English, you're looked down upon. You could be the smartest person in the room, but it's still there. So yeah, when I was growing up, definitely, even in schools.
And even now, like, are people looked down upon in India? Especially like in those big cities, कि यार English नहीं आती, इसको बोलने तो मैं ऐसे बात नहीं करूँगा.
100%.
और schools में तो होता है ना यार कि And I assume that you went to, private schools जो
Yeah.
probably upper middle class
हाँ.
के लोग आते होंगे, तो वहाँ पे तो थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही complex होता है in terms of how you look, how you speak and all.
Yeah, every school I went to, the cultural shock for me was the kids were slightly better than before.
Mm-hmm.
So, it takes you time sometimes. कि, oh, इस school के बच्चे ऐसे हैं, स्कूल के बच्चे ऐसे हैं. So, it took me time to adjust to it.
Mm-hmm.
But then by the time I came to high school, I was very well versed with, I have the experience of boarding school. I've seen Hindi में कैसे हैं, English में कैसे हैं, Urdu में कैसे हैं. So, now, at that point, I think I was comfortable. But हाँ, पहले it was an entire journey.
And how's Delhi as a city overall?
Delhi as a city, I think it's great. I actually am exploring it right now. By right now, I mean after I've come to Canada.
Okay.
For the first 18 years of my life in Delhi, I grew up there. I actually had never explored. मैं ना कभी बाहर गया. I was just bound in my room. I was a very studious child.
Okay.
So मेरे स्कूल के फ्रेंड्स सिर्फ स्कूल तक होते थे. मैं घर आता था, मैं पढ़ता था, मैं ट्यूशन्स जाता था. मेरे एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर कुछ भी, मैं ओलंपियाड्स एग्जाम्स वगैरह, वेरी नर्डी किड. So I never really explored Delhi. And then when I turned 18, graduated from high school, I came here. So अब मैं जब इंडिया जाता हूँ, every time I make a point to go and explore Delhi. So I think now I can speak about Delhi's life in general.
And how would you compare? Because usually I'm a big Bollywood fan, by the way.
Okay.
तो मुंबई का बहुत दिखाए जाते हैं movies में, like but Delhi मैंने at least इतना ज़्यादा नहीं देखा. So how would you compare Mumbai and Delhi? And obviously all the movie stars live in Mumbai, right? So how would you compare the two big cities?
I think two big cities are wildly contrasting. Okay. There's a rivalry, by the way, between Delhi and Mumbai people.
It's like Karachi, Lahore.
Pretty much. Pretty much. They say we are the best. They toot their own horns. So there's a rivalry there. I think Delhi has, and most North Indians are a little aggressive. Mumbai and like the West and the South India is a little laid back. So Delhi people, they're very street smart. Mm-hmm. They're aggressive on the streets. You'll see a lot of anger out there in Delhi. But Delhi has a certain cultural aspect to it as well because of its rich history. Mumbai is a very fast-paced city. No one really cares about what's happening 10 feet away from them. So it's sort of like how New York is, for example. Okay. So yeah, just with more people.
Like a lot of people from like smaller cities in India, do they aspire to go to Mumbai just to be something?
I think when I was growing up, definitely yes. Mumbai or Delhi were the cities ki if you were in small towns or villages, they're like, bade shahar jaake, like we'll go into big cities and we'll earn a living, highest per capita income cities.
I'm sorry, मेरी ना सारी knowledge movies से आती है because मैंने movies में देखा ना मुझे मुंबई जाना है actor बनना.
It's quite depictive of how life is. Obviously कभी-कभी glamour को ज़्यादा दिखाया जाता है, but I think it's quite depictive. So whatever your idea is, it's close to home.
ठीक है. तो फिर इंडिया में जो grade 11 तक स्कूल कब तक होती है और कॉलेज किस क्लास में शुरू होता है?
It depends on the kind of board you're going. So मैं central board की बात करता हूँ that I went to.
Is central board like the government board or how?
नहीं. So all boards are certified with the government. Central board of secondary education is what maximum people in India study in, and then you have state boards. So every state will have their own boards. Usually state boards में small town और वो जहाँ पे access नहीं होती, वो those kind of people go. Most private schools will have CBSE, the central board, which is where I studied in. उनका बहुत ही simple है that they'll have till grade 12 and after grade 12 you basically go to college.
And is there a British system या IB system? पाकिस्तान में बहुत है, तो इंडिया में भी होता है.
हाँ, मतलब I think it's gaining traction. मैं जब boarding school में grade 8 में था is when IB board came to India नया. So I actually wanted to do IB board, but I had to leave my boarding school. So that's why I was bound to go on this central board route क्योंकि उस time पे वो tested नहीं था. Now I feel like a lot of kids and apparently a lot of upper middle class parents want their kids to go into IB and ICSE boards. So it's gaining traction, but still the majority people go to the central board.
And overall education कैसी है ये जो central board है इसकी? Is it very competitive? अच्छा, पाकिस्तान का बताता हूँ कि पाकिस्तान में usually जब आप होता है ना कि यार मैं गवर्नमेंट बोर्ड से पढ़ा हूँ कुछ तो होता है कि यार अच्छा नहीं है, अनफॉर्चुनेटली चीटिंग होती है, ये सुना है. अच्छे भी होते होंगे बट जो मेरा परसेप्शन है और जो मेजोरिटी पाकिस्तानी इसका परसेप्शन ही होता है जो प्राइवेट स्कूल्स में जाते हैं कि यार ये अच्छा नहीं है. तो इंडिया में जो स्टेट बोर्ड और ये सेंट्रल बोर्ड इसका परसेप्शन कैसा होता है?
स्टेट बोर्ड और सेंट्रल बोर्ड they're quite different. State board is where what you'll compare to like there's a lot of cheating in smaller towns and cities. Bihar is notorious for that actually. And Central Board, I think, has gotten better with the passage of time. In our time, it was actually known ki bas rata maar lo, just like memorize stuff and you'll be able to score well. There's a lot of competition there, but now they're changing the curriculum. They're trying to match it to what the new curriculums are, somehow getting at par with them. I won't say they're still there, but it's not looked down upon, definitely. State board maybe in some places, but not the central board.
जो अमीर लोग होते हैं बहुत,
हाँ जी,
वो कौन सा, वो क्या पढ़ते हैं?
IB, ICSE, they want to do the international boards. They want to send their kids to Pathways and the Shri Rams and like all these snooty rich schools that you see in movies. So the top 5% cream of the crop will always want to send their kids.
अच्छा, मैंने ना मूवीज में और स्पेशली जो सोशल मीडिया से मतलब देखा है कि एक अंबानी स्कूल है,
हाँ जी,
धीरूभाई अंबानी स्कूल, तो उसमें कोई भी जा सकते हैं, सिर्फ आपकी एक सर्टेन वेल्थ होनी चाहिए, क्या वो जा सकते हैं?
I'm pretty sure like they won't advertise it that way, but I think no parent will try to send their kid in a school like that without having the financial backing, because I think the kid will pretty much morally die with the amount of pressure that comes in. So like
the pressure to fit in their group, unfortunately.
Yes, so I think that is the barrier.
ठीक है,
in that sense.
तो फिर स्कूल में like you told कि you were very studious, right? So how did you do in school and in your boards, college?
I was the
champion.
I think I was that cousin that every other kid was jealous of because their parents made them so. As a very like ideal ki my grade 12 grades were what 98.4%.
अच्छा, तो सब बोलते होंगे फैमिली में निशांत की तरह।
हाँ, वही। So I was always that, and I was always ahead in terms of like I wanted to voluntarily participate in Olympiads. मेरे पास इतने certificates होते थे that I had a whole wall filled with trophies, medals and whatnot. मैं voluntarily कहता था. Teachers एक point के बाद मेरे से पूछना बंद कर देते थे कि इसका नाम लिख दो इस चीज में, तो कर ही रहा है.
But were you just studious or were you sporty as well? Because now you play a lot of cricket.
Both.
तो साथ करते थे सब?
Both, हाँ.
Easily manage हो जाता था उस वक्त?
हाँ, I would say
because
so.
I assume 98% लाने के लिए पढ़ाई ज़्यादा करनी पड़ती होगी और खेलना कम पड़ता होगा.
नहीं, I think I did study a lot, but I used to manage my own time. My parents were never bothered with यार पढ़ लो या कुछ नहीं. वो मेरे को बल्कि कहते थे कि take a break from all of this. You have to do other things as well. So, but मेरे को शुरू से शौक था to learn and like to be good in everything. So मैंने कोई ऐसा sport नहीं है जो छोड़ा नहीं.
And India में is there a lot of focus on sports in schools?
When I was growing up, not really. And I think a lot of people pay the price for that. Because when you come here, you realize that extracurriculars matter a lot. And I think हमारे case में ये था that my parents had planned for me to study abroad. So they were like कि इसको रखो इन चीज़ों में. So that he builds up a profile, he's able to talk, he's socializing and he's able to submit applications that have some weight. But I think nowadays, given the modernization that's happening in India, within schools as well, parents are also realizing, so the schools sort of have to keep up. But when I was growing up, not really. I mean, it was like वो हफ्ते में एक sports period, games period होता था, and that बहुत ही sad सा होता था. वो भी like from time to time our math or English teacher was like, we're gonna take this period. So
अच्छा, वहाँ पर भी यही होता है.
Same, हाँ. तो same लोग हैं, same आवाम है. So I'm pretty sure we live very similar lives.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't know teachers को क्या होता था कि इनका पी पीरियड ले लो किसी तरह.
हाँ, बस.
या मतलब अगर 1 घंटे का पीरियड है तो पहले 20 मिनट पढ़ा दिया और कि यार तो मुझे समझ नहीं आता क्या है.
सिलेबस कंप्लीट करना है, stuff.
और फिर बोलते हैं कि भाई स्पेशली पाकिस्तान देखो हमारे यहाँ अच्छे क्रिकेटर्स नहीं आते, अच्छे नहीं आते. भाई आपने स्कूल से खेलनी नहीं यार. सारे पी पीरियड आपने ले लिए हमारे. तो अच्छा, I watch a lot of Shark Tank India, right? And अभी Shark Tank Pakistan भी, I'm not sure if you watch that, but उसमें ये होता है कि a lot of people come from the IITs and the IIMs, और जब sharks भी होते हैं तो वो बहुत ज़्यादा amused रहते हैं. You're from IIT, you're from IIM. IIM is as you
management.
MBA, is that?
Oh yes, okay. That's for the masters.
Or IIT is probably engineering, right?
Yes, correct.
So, and you decided to come to Canada,
yes,
right, after your college. Why did you
school?
और वो कहते हैं ना कि like it's difficult to get into IIT than it is to get into Harvard, right? So why did you decide to come to Canada, and was Canada your first choice?
Not really. My first choice was the US. I was bound to go to the US, and people who came during my time, 2017, 2016 is when I think Donald Trump got elected. Plans quickly changed.
Okay.
That that there's going to be difficulty in immigration and working. So it was more like
because based on your grades, you look like the Ivy League type.
Funny enough, I actually got into Berkeley. Okay. And I was bound, like मेरा set था. Okay. My way was set and everything, but then I had to turn my ways around and come to UFT as a backup option.
So Canada was your backup option.
Yeah, it came as a backup option. It was never in my mind, but then my consultant was like, the second best choice is Canada, and then these are the top 4 business schools. Apply there and don't think of anywhere else.
ठीक है, तो फिर were you sad कि यार मैं US नहीं गया, Canada आ गया?
No, not really.
And how did Canada treat you?
I think for the first 4 years, at least my university time, quite great. It was a cultural shock, obviously, coming here. For the first year, I think it was very mixed feeling because we were meeting so many different people from other nationalities, and मैं घर से बाहर नहीं निकला था. Now I'm suddenly all alone in the country. I came here alone as well. My father's visa couldn't come on time. और मैं कभी मेट्रो से एक जगह से दूसरी जगह नहीं गया था. मैं सीधा फ्लाइट में बैठ के इधर आ गया था.
And you didn't know anyone in Canada? कुछ भी? कोई दोस्त थे जो दिल्ली से आ रहे थे साथ?
नहीं. Luckily, I had some of my distant family here, so there was some sort of support. But friends, not much.
Okay. Acha, and you said कि you met a lot of nationalities, right? तो when you met Pakistanis, right? अच्छा, ये होता है ना कि मतलब for example हम कनाडा, मैं कनाडा आया था तो पहली दफा इंडियन से मिला था, right? And I assume when you came to Canada, you met Pakistanis for the very first time, right? So how was your perception of Pakistanis? Because obviously मूवीज में बहुत बॉलीवुड मूवीज में बहुत पोर्ट्रे किया जाता है कि हम सब टोपी पहनते हैं पाकिस्तानी, हमारे हाथ में तस्बीह होती है, हम आंखों में सुरमा लगाते हैं. तो हाउ वाज योर कि यार ये तो हमारे जैसे ही शायद, like how did you feel about Pakistani?
So I had an idea that UFT is a very multicultural university, so I'm going to meet some Pakistanis, obviously. And I was a little anxious ki, like we are ingrained that we have a certain perception of how Pakistanis are. We're supposed to be anti them and stuff like that when we were coming
That's
here.
what we have been taught, unfortunately.
So when I came here, I thought this will be my reaction, that I'm going to be an arm's length and, I'm not going to create a problem for myself and I just don't like them, is what my perception was. But funny enough, in the entire 4 years of my university, I had more Pakistani friends than Indian friends. And I was actively coming to PSF events, if you remember, like the Student Federation events. And, I made a lot of good friends. And I never felt for a second that there is any sort of difference. So that whole facade has sort of gone away now. But yeah, it was very interesting. And it was you guys obviously look exactly like us.
Same.
So same.
जिस तरह same दिखते हैं, same खाते हैं almost. मतलब I think you guys like masala chai, we like karak chai. कुछ थोड़ा सा शायद चाय में थोड़ा फर्क आ जाता है.
मैं मसाला चाय वाला नहीं. I'm not a tea person, but yeah.
Because all the Indian restaurants I go to, masala chai is there.
It's a big thing.
हाँ, ठीक है. But I think same तरह दिखते हैं, same food. साथ साथ रहते भी ऑलमोस्ट, बस एक बॉर्डर का फर्क आ गया. तो आई थिंक इट्स द मीडिया और जिस तरह एक पोर्ट्रे किया गया है, आई थिंक इट्स लोगों में नफरत नहीं है, आई थिंक इट्स पॉलिटिक्स है बस, आई थिंक अनफॉर्चुनेटली है. बट चले इस पे ज्यादा बात नहीं करते पॉलिटिक्स पे.
Moving on.
Let's move on. So but what did you study at UFT?
I went to the Rotman School of Commerce. I did my Bachelor's of Commerce and specialized in finance and economics. So very finance role.
अच्छा, was there a thing where इंडिया में ये है कि यार मेरा बेटा डॉक्टर बन जाए या इंजीनियर बन जाए या अकाउंटेंट पता नहीं है, बट इंजीनियर या डॉक्टर बन जाए,
इंजीनियर,
ठीक है. तो आपके साथ हुआ था इस तरह?
funny enough, yes. So my dad is a doctor.
Okay.
And
runs in the family.
He had expectations मेरे से सिर्फ कि तुझे डॉक्टर बनना है. And till grade 10 my eyes were set that I'm going to become a neurologist or a cardiologist. मेरे दिमाग में कुछ नहीं था. And India में schooling system is, we couldn't cover it before, but India में schooling system within the central board is that grade 11 or 12 में you have to choose a stream, science, commerce or arts. So if you choose science, you can only science courses, physics, chemistry, math, biology, stuff like that. You can't do economics, you can't do business studies, you can't do other stuff. So you're bound. So you've pretty much chosen your path. So I sat in the science section in grade 11 when we passed grade 10. And मेरे दिमाग में उस टाइम पता नहीं क्या था, peer pressure था या I saw people saying you know यार तेरे father कितना busy रहते हैं, तू 7 में से 5 दिन उनको देखता भी नहीं है, he runs a hospital, he's always busy, he's always on call. So you know by the time you become a good doctor you'll be 40. So do you want a life like that? Like हाँ यार बात तो सही है. So I just chickened out pretty much. That's अब मैं बहुत recent acceptance में आया हूँ कि I think it was a regret because I genuinely am interested in medicine. Okay. मैं बैठा पढ़ता रहता हूँ. Okay. Like I like reading about diseases and whatnot. I like watching medical shows. I like to keep myself informed. So I'm like यार कर ही लेना चाहिए था. So I just cut my name in the science section and I sat in the commerce section. I had no thought behind it कि मुझे करना भी है या नहीं. So that was what my.
So if you could go back in time.
Oh yes, 100%.
So doctor बनते.
100%. That's I think one of my regrets that मैं उस time पे नहीं सोचा. And I think our school systems are designed that way that they don't even guide you properly. So I took a bad call, I would say. And by I think अगर मैं उस time पे change कर सकता हूँ इसको जाके I'll do it.
So what was your father's reaction then when you decided कि अब्बू मुझे finance में जाना है?
He did not pressure me. Okay. I honestly thought that he will. He was like, try कर ले. If you don't get it, that's fine. I'm not gonna pressure you. I don't want you to become a bad doctor at all. So if you don't like it, because you have to have a lot of passion to become a doctor.
Because it's a very noble profession.
Noble and it's demanding.
Absolutely. Yes.
So he never pressured.
It just messes up with your mind as well because you see people.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's bad. So what does your dad say now? कि कभी
होता है कि never told him this. कि I have regrets.
चलो अब उनको शायद पता चल जाए.
Maybe yes.
Okay, but I'm sure he'll come to you कि बेटा खुश रहो बस तो.
Yeah, I'm not. I you know what? Actually, I'm gonna refrain from him to not know this because I told you so नहीं सुनना मेरे को. So you know like. But ठीक है, but yeah.
Okay. चलो फिर UFT में 4 साल पढ़ाई के कैसे थे? Was it easy for you because अच्छा so I did the British system of education Pakistan में and when I came here and I also did Rotman. So first year was a breeze. Yeah, like मैंने वो maths पढ़ा हुआ था, मैंने accounting पढ़ा हुआ था, economics पढ़ा हुआ था. So was it the same for you or was it like difficult for you slightly?
So first year in general was a breeze for me, but the first semester itself, I think adjusting to the model of education that there is, it took me a while to adjust. And it was, as I said, CBSE was all memorizing. There was no projects, there was nothing. You go write an exam. If you remember that on the day of the exam, you'll pretty much have good grades. Here, it's like you have to socialize, you have to make projects, you have to be with other people. It's not the same. So that took me at least 2 to 3 months to adjust. But once I got the hang of that, it was a breeze. First 2 years, I think, were a breeze for me.
ठीक है फिर UFT में after your 4 years like because job ढूंढना मुश्किल होता है right and what year did you graduate? 21 so like COVID right
yes.
right in the middle of COVID. So was it difficult for you to find a job उस वक्त?
Honestly, I was taking a lot of pressure within myself कि होगा and I was very depressed at that point कि यार job लगेगी या नहीं पता नहीं क्या होगा. But luckily enough, by the time I graduated, the next month I had a job. So I literally took the first offer I could get.
Okay.
And I did not think twice about, I'll choose, I'll see what's out there and whatnot. I just took the first offer I could get and then tried to climb the corporate ladder from there.
So what are you, like, what job did you go to and what are you doing now?
I went to the Bank of Montreal at that time and it was a contract position. So through a third party and, like very like hourly aap kaam kar rahe, you're getting paid. And then within the first 8 months, BMO was made an offer to me to hire me full time because they liked my work within a similar vertical. So that was very accounting focused and I did not want to do that. I'm like, okay, if I get stuck here, I'll be stuck here. Within the next 4 months, I ended up switching because I got an opportunity to interview with Scotiabank and now I've been with Scotiabank for like 2.5 years now.
Chalo yaar, wishing you the best in your corporate career. But थोड़ा UFT को और explore करते हैं कि I remember कि UFT में जब हम साथ थे because I graduated 2020, you graduated 2021 तो 1 साल की फर्क था. तो हमने साथ क्रिकेट बहुत खेला है और हमने पाकिस्तान इंडिया के मैचेस बहुत खेले हैं.
बहुत.
कभी आप लोग जीते हो, कभी हम जीते हैं. तो लाइक कौन ज़्यादा बेहतर खेलता है?
I mean, UFT mein, I still think it's a 50-50. It was always a 50-50 fight. You could never tell. International mein, to you don't want me to say. So
international mein, I think we have been struggling since the past 2 years, unfortunately. But chale, like obviously we explored your life. But cricket, so you recently started a YouTube channel as well.
Yes.
And you have that Instagram page as well. So like, I'll for the audience, I'll add the link in the description for those of you who are interested. Great analysis. So. Can you just tell me a bit about the channel, what you're doing, and what the purpose of it?
So pretty much just talking about cricket, honestly. Whatever's happening in the cricket world, try to analyze it, and it's more of an opinion piece. I'm not a stat person when it comes to cricket because I'm very passionate about it. So I've been told by people that are with me that like you have good cricket insights, you should convert it into a show probably. So just trying to have fun with the channel.
So is it just Indian cricket, yeah, like? पूरी दुनिया की like
so I think
bilateral series and like World Cups and like IPL, PSL, everything.
That's the aim. That I want to keep it neutral. But for now, it has only been India and Indian focused cricket like IPL, for example, because I think that's easy to talk about for me. So as a beginner, I'm trying to explore that. But once I get the rhythm of it, I think, and I have the time commitment towards it, I think I'll want to cover pretty much everything that is happening in the cricket world.
ठीक है.
Yeah.
तो recently अभी IPL PSL भी चल रहा है, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're covering PSL.
I am a little bit, but yes.
So then, yeah, I'm sure you're covering IPL. So like,
Yes.
as a Pakistani, right? तो मैं IPL की highlights जरूर देखता हूँ. No, सारे matches नहीं, because I just feel like कि इतने ज़्यादा matches हो गए हैं कि it's just very difficult to follow all the matches, especially in Canada, time zone difference and all. So as an Indian who's very passionate about cricket, so do you think कि यार IPL बहुत लंबा हो गया है, they just need to cut it down a bit?
दो part and two different answers. IPL
Okay.
है लंबा because now we have 10 teams, 14 matches per team, so it's quite big. So they should have actually had 16 matches, but to cut it short, they have 14 matches per team. But it still goes on for a good chunk, 1.5 to almost 2 months.
Yeah.
It's never going to be cut short. अगर उनका बस चले तो they'll introduce 2 more teams because that's how much the consumption demand is for cricket in India.
Yeah.
And people are never going to be fed up with IPL. It's a big market.
सारे stadiums full होते हैं हर वक्त,
हमेशा.
हर match में.
It's people, the tickets are sold in pretty much black everywhere.
Oh, black में.
Oh,
Okay.
100%. Like passes ये जो होते हैं, they get distributed with such a premium that I'm not going to say World Cup level, but it's always been jam-packed ever since it started.
चलो, amazing. Or what's your favorite team?
My favorite team, ever since IPL started, I was supporting Chennai Super Kings because of MS Dhoni. And I know for the past year or two, they've been struggling a little bit, especially this year, because they've made some mistakes in the auction. And they've had that old army, that like the dad team. And they actually ended up winning 2 years ago with that same team. But that's just not working for them anymore. So I think it's a good lesson. And I think even as a CSK fan, I'll always want them to win. But for the last 2-3 seasons, I've wanted a new team to win.
Okay.
Because I think it's better for cricket.
Okay. मैं बताऊँ मेरी favorite team कौन सी है? RCB.
Really?
And the sole and I think majority, so obviously Pakistani players don't play in the IPL.
Yeah.
और जो भी follow करता है उसकी majority Pakistanis की I assume favorite team is RCB because of Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
We're such big Virat Kohli fans. Like
same here.
मतलब अभी जैसे Champions Trophy हुई थी, right? So
Yeah.
and obviously India didn't come to Pakistan to play.
Yeah.
And the only reason we wanted India to come to see Virat Kohli live
Yeah.
in Pakistan. And imagine like he scored a century against Pakistan. Imagine if he had scored a century against against Pakistan in Pakistan, उसको standing ovation मिलता है.
I'm
Literally
sure.
because of the fan following that he
Yeah.
has. So थोड़ा political हो जाएगा, but do you think India should have come to Pakistan to play Champions Trophy?
I wanted them to. Like, honestly, and I was kind of hopeful when Pakistan was taking a stand in the initial stages that, you know, if India's not going to come, that's fine. I know it's not realistic for them to host the Champions Trophy without India, but it's quite not possible, frankly speaking. But मैं चाहता था that India go there and play, but obviously it's too political at this point. And I think BCCI also made a statement that we're good to go to play, but we need permission from the government. So we really can't do anything in this.
Because the obviously Pakistan पिछले 2 दफा आ चुका है
Yes.
India खेलने, और अभी just obviously the contract that they have that Pakistan won't go to India for the next 2-3
Now
years
they've
as well.
said that, yes.
So the T20 World Cup अभी जो I think India में 2026 में जो श्रीलंका के साथ को होस्ट कर रहे हैं, तो I assume अभी पाकिस्तान इंडिया के मैच श्रीलंका में होगा.
Yes.
So I assume कि as an Indian आपको बुरा लगेगा कि यार पाकिस्तान इंडिया के मैच श्रीलंका में हो रहा है.
Yeah.
क्यों?
Yeah, the I think the rivalry that is already struggling will struggle even further because Sri Lanka में India Pakistan के मैच देखने sure Indians जाएंगे, but it's not going to be as much craze that it would probably host in Pakistan or in India. So I think that's going to take a hit. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be sad. But
do you think obviously like जो कहे ना कहे like सबको पता है कि India is managing cricket right now, like the global cricket, ICCI India का है, and obviously because of the money involved, और ये unfortunate reality है दुनिया की, like जिसके पास पैसे हैं वही lead करेगा चीज, right? And India has a lot of money, it's like a lot of money involved. But do you think कि किसी के पास भी any sport and as an Indian fan, right, कि इतना control होना चाहिए किसी के पास एक sport का, because obviously now you're making the rules, you're amending the rules, you're not visiting a certain country. अब जैसे like obviously ये था कि यार India सारे matches दुबई में खेल रही है, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people said it's an unfair advantage to them because इनको pitch conditions पता है, right? So do you think यार it's not good for cricket?
I think so. It's a double-edged sword. Honestly, you'd want your country to be commanding
Mhm.
in any sport that
Yeah.
it plays in, but to actually control the sport, at the end of the day, the sport suffers.
Mhm.
So, as a cricket fanatic, I'll always want cricket to grow, but not at the cost of other teams suffering.
Mhm.
So, I think it should be a little neutral. ICC should be like separate from any board whatsoever, but it's not the reality, unfortunately. And India controlling cricket could mean more money for cricket, which is good for cricket, but it also means that other teams, probably there'll be a big disparity between what they're earning.
Mhm.
So that's bad for cricket. So it's a balance between these.
Because कभी-कभी एज अ पाकिस्तानी फैन है आपको होता है कि एज लॉन्ग एज इंडिया इज कंट्रोलिंग क्रिकेट पाकिस्तान हमेशा एक अनफेयर
हाँ.
एडवांटेज अनफेयर जगह खड़ा होगा राइट
Yes.
मतलब इंडिया पाकिस्तान खेलने नहीं आएगी और द ओनली टाइम वी प्ले अगेंस्ट ईच अदर इज द
The
आईसीसी इवेंट्स
ICC
राइट और
tournaments.
इतना अफसोस होता है कि यार इतना मजा इंडिया पाकिस्तान का मैच ऑब्वियसली इट्स वन ऑफ द मोस्ट वॉच्ड
Yes.
मैच इन द
Events
वर्ल्ड
in the
राइट
world. Yes.
तो मतलब आपको होता है कि यार मतलब और मैचेस क्यों नहीं हो रहे
Yeah.
तो एज अ पाकिस्तानी फैन तो ये सोचता है एक इंडियन फैन भी यही सोचता है
Yes, 100%. I don't think a lot of Indian fans and true fans enjoy the fact that India controls cricket. And I'm pretty sure मेरे जैसे बहुत लोग होंगे who would have wanted India to go play in Pakistan because it's very good for Pakistan cricket and international cricket in general. So I think it's bad for cricket, but I think people have started accepting now that whoever has the power is not going to let go, even if it's at the behest of the sport suffering. At the end.
And do you think India-Pakistan ki rivalry is it the same now? Because I mean, unfortunately, we have been losing since the past 2-3 years.
Yeah.
और मतलब अभी Champions Trophy में भी World Cup में भी.
Yeah.
I think the last time we won was the 152-0 वाला match था. T20 World Cup था. I
हाँ,
think that was
बाबर वाला
Babar
बाबर
Rizwan
रिजवान
who
जो चेस
chased them.
किया
हाँ,
था,
chase
yes,
किया था.
दुबई में था आई थिंक,
और
right?
उससे पहले I think Champions Trophy का
2017
final
Yes,
था.
correct.
So do you think is it the same anymore कि यार मतलब because we unfortunately haven't been doing well.
Yes, I think Pakistan cricket is in a big transition stage and it's just not ending for them.
Yeah.
So they need a big revamp. I think revamp came in management at least, but players का
यार मैनेजमेंट में रिवैम्प हर 6 महीने में आ रहा है अनफॉर्चुनेटली सारा मसला ये
हाँ, ये भी है, that's true. There's not a lot of consistency.
हाँ.
So I think players need to be assessed with a very, very tough like angle कि भाई आप नहीं खेल रहे हो तो आप टीम से बाहर हैं. आप जो मर्जी हो, आप चाहे बाबर आजम हो, आप चाहे शहनशाह अफरीदी हो, कोई भी हो. So I think that's what's needed. And it comes at a price. Fans might not like it in the beginning, but when the team starts winning, is like everything is forgotten. So.
And do you think जैसे विराट कोहली है right and again as I told you Virat Kohli I'm a big fan
Yes.
सारे Pakistanis they're like
Yeah.
massive fans compare Virat Kohli and Sachin Tendulkar because obviously ये social media बहुत debate होती है कि यार will Virat Kohli be able to get those 100 centuries where is he now like
He's at
in his 80s
something,
right
yes. 81
and I think मुश्किल है because 19 centuries और करना but
Yes.
compare both
I think Virat Kohli himself in an interview said that in terms of skill कोई match नहीं है. And I think Virat Kohli is a better ODI player, sure, because he's been the run master, he's the chase master, he's a master chaser, he knows how to play the game, his game awareness has been amazing. He probably, I would pick him over Sachin Tendulkar, gun to my head, in ODIs. But I think in general, Sachin Tendulkar was a more complete cricketer because he was playing with tougher bowlers. He was playing longer formats, T20 towards the end of his career, so I'm not going to count that. So he was a better cricketer in terms of skill, but in terms of game awareness and in terms of taking cricket to the next level, Virat Kohli definitely.
I think Virat Kohli has sort of globalized cricket in a way
Yes.
कि obviously जब विराट कोहली आया था राइट तो उस वक्त क्रिकेट इतना ग्लोबल नहीं था राइट एंड नाउ विराट कोहली आई थिंक टॉप 5 टॉप 10 में मोस्ट फॉलोअर इंस्टाग्राम
Yes.
सेलिब्रिटी राइट
Yes.
तो आई थिंक एंड एवरीवन नोज हु विराट कोहली इज नाउ
Yes.
मतलब तो उसने आई थिंक क्रिकेट को जो दिया है ना लाइक उसने ऑब्वियसली एक फिटनेस का नया स्टैंडर्ड उसने
Yes.
सेट किया राइट मतलब कोई इतना फिट नहीं था जितना विराट कोहली था
Yeah.
obviously he is good looking as well so I think India Pakistan unfortunately that also helps like if you're good looking आपके थोड़ा ज्यादा नाम भी बनता है
Of
ये
course.
एक है right but along with his looks उसकी fitness ने भी और उसके cricketing skills ने भी मतलब I think पूरी cricketing world को change कर दिया
Yeah.
और एक नया standard set कर दिया
Yeah.
so do you agree with that
100%. I think Sachin Tendulkar के time तक it was a niche sport. It had a very niche following. people knew cricket as like people playing in like white shirt and pants and stuff like that. Virat Kohli took cricket to a global level.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and setting that fitness standard, you know, it came from his own mistakes. He was not the fittest people around when he started playing, but he realized it, and that 2012 wala phase ke baad se baad, he's been like that epitome of fitness in cricket. So he's taken cricket and made it a global sport.
Chalo, nice. And have you ever seen a Pakistan-India match live in the stadium?
No, I haven't. I actually went to New York to see the India-Ireland and South Africa-Netherlands match. I missed the India-Pakistan match.
I'm sure ticket मिली नहीं होगी या बहुत महंगी होगी.
नहीं, even on, so I was actually flying out to Toronto the same day, and literally same day पे जो ticket $1,500 की थी पहले, वो same ticket मेरे को $250 की मिल रही थी. But I think there was a rain delay, and I was like, you know what, I think the match not gonna happen, so let me just board the flight, so it's all fine. And when I landed, मैंने देखा first innings हो गई थी. I'm like,
because the match था बहुत अच्छा, मतलब वो जीता हुआ मैच हम हार गए.
वो I pretty much thought कि ये क्या है, like 100-125 रन बने. I knew that it was a low scoring pitch,
but इतना कि चेज नहीं हो सकता ये तो.
हाँ, वो that I remember that Rizwan का sweep shot lost you that match. I'm not blaming it on him, but that's where the tide turned. And the match was pretty much gone.
मतलब वो जब हम मैच वो देख रहे थे ना, तो मैंने सोचा यार ये
कैसे हार सकते हैं.
मतलब हम सब क्योंकि हमने तो यार 50 रन टीवी यार जीत गए यार, सारे इंडियंस ने टीवी बंद कर दिया, हम जीत गए, कितने टाइम बाद जीत रहे हैं आराम से. और ये पता नहीं कैसे मैच हार गया, समझ नहीं आया.
सेम विद साउथ अफ्रीका इंडिया फाइनल. 30 बॉल में 30 रन चाहिए, डेविड मिलर एंड क्लासिन ऑन स्ट्राइक.
यार वो कैच कैसा था एंड में, उसका सूर्य कुमार था.
हाँ, सूर्य कुमार, यस.
I think उस कैच से जिता दिया आप लोगों को.
उस कैच से I think they got the confidence that yes we actually can do this. So yeah.
और फिर हम इंडिया से हारे. और फिर हम यूएसए से भी हार गए.
हाँ, वो embarrassing था. That USA match I think pretty much set you guys behind.
Correct.
कि भाई
यार मुझे लगता है कि even ICC wants कि चलो इंडिया पाकिस्तान मैच में जो भी जीता, लेकिन दोनों वापस सेमीफाइनल या फाइनल में मिल जाए.
हाँ, तभी तो सेम ग्रुप में होते हैं.
Exactly. कि सेमीफाइनल में तो साथ हो नहीं सकते बिकॉज़ सेम ग्रुप में, कि किसी ने फाइनल में हो जाए ताकि पैसे बन जाए, चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में जो
वो हो नहीं पा रहा है,
क्योंकि हम बस हम क्या करें यार. तो पाकिस्तान का सबसे फेवरेट प्लेयर कौन सा लगता है?
Honestly, मुझे I like that guy. That opener guy that you have, I'm forgetting his name. It's at the tip of my tongue. Sam Ayub. Yes. Okay. I love him.
जो अभी injured हो गया था.
I love him. I think he didn't play the Champions Trophy.
He was injured.
But his mentality is that Virat Kohli mentality. He's not scared of anyone. And like you see, I'm glowing when his name comes up. I was actually disappointed.
And obviously even as a Pakistani, हम सबको इतना वो पसंद है कि एक लगता है कि एक बहुत ही promising cricketer है.
Yes.
But unfortunately हमारे यहाँ होता है कि इतने promising cricketers आते हैं, right? But जो आपका जो बोर्ड है ना, उनको मैनेज नहीं करता. Umar Akmal, I'm not sure if you remember him. He was a very, very good player. But unfortunately, I don't know what happened. उसके अपने भी issues थे, but he wasn't managed properly. तो हमें बस यही डर लगता है कि यार इस because he's very young, you know, बचपन में आप थोड़े, बचपन तो नहीं मतलब जवानी में आप थोड़े जोश में होते हो, but it's very important to be, you know, taken care of. तो हमें as a पाकिस्तानी हमें बस ये होता है कि यार उसका बस ख्याल रखना है, एक बहुत ही अच्छा एसेट मिला है. But उसके अलावा मुझे और कोई प्लेयर नहीं दिखता अभी कि यार बहुत ही प्रॉमिसिंग है. So like other than that, like do you think because आप क्रिकेट एनालिसिस करते हो, राइट? सो
फास्ट bowlers में Naseem Shah has always shown great promise. I think he's going through a little bit of a rough patch right now, and so did Shaheen Shah as well. I think he's a good batsman as well. I've seen him bat a few times PSL में. I think both of them are going through a rough patch, but they'll bounce back. I used to be a Babar fan, but पिछले कुछ times I'm not able to justify it to myself.
बाबर कोहली का comparison जो होता था.
Oh please, like there's no comparison. Sachin Tendulkar and Virat Kohli is still comparable on some levels. Babar has way too much to prove to be even considered 50% of what Virat Kohli is.
And I totally agree. He was on that path.
हाँ.
But जो नहीं विराट कोहली का जो बहुत बुरा फेज आया था जब बाबर आजम लिखा भी था this too shall pass. तो यार विराट कोहली को भी लोग लिख दे यार बाबर के लिए पिछले 2 साल से लिखना चाहिए. But I assume के Virat Kohli, it's too big of a player to, you know, write a tweet for Babar Azam.
I don't think so. I think it becomes too political, maybe. And I think Virat as a person has always stayed away from politics.
Yeah.
If you see his trajectory, for whatever issues that even have happened within the country, civil issues, maybe he's staying away. Like he stayed away from those issues. So I don't think he's never.
Also, people say like everyone attended the Ambani wedding, but Virat Kohli नहीं था. क्यों?
मुझे यही लगता है कि he wanted to make a statement that शाहरुख गया, सलमान गया, धोनी गया, सब नाचे,
मुझे जरूरत नहीं है,
मेरे को जरूरत नहीं है, because I'm bigger and like you know above these people.
हाँ.
So
और ये इंडियंस को खुश भी करता होगा कि यार क्यों जरूरत है शादी में जाने की यार, सही है आप अपने मजे
हाँ
करो.
हाँ, there was a lot of chatter कि that entire India is there, पता
हाँ.
नहीं किस किस को invitation आया हुआ है, विराट कोहली नहीं गया, and you know like there were memes like glorifying him for that. So maybe that's one reason as well. So
मतलब सबसे डांस कराया विराट कोहली
कि
मतलब
पैसे के आगे हर
और
कोई
एम एस
झुकता
धोनी
है.
भी यूजुअली कहीं नहीं जाता, वो भी वहां पहुंचा हुआ था, राइट?
हाँ, I think after retirement MS धोनी का एक नया फेस देखने को मिल रहा है to everyone.
Okay, and
So
what is that phase?
I think he's a little detached from cricket.
Hmm.
And वो जैसे अंबानी वाला हुआ था, he was writing a post, he was singing for Ambani, and then some issue happened and he never spoke on it. Sushant Singh Rajput, I don't know if you know the story,
Yeah.
like you know
Like
he
that
made
was
him
so
immortal,
that was so heartbreaking.
and he
यार.
never apparently people say that he never paid ode to him, never spoke a single sentence about him. So you know that shows the कि भाई पैसे के लिए you are doing all of this and this person gave you so much legacy playing you in a movie and you never even spoke a word
I
about
think
it.
he was one of my favorite actors,
Yeah.
Sushant
Very promising.
Singh Rajput,
Yeah.
और जो उसके साथ हुआ और अभी तक समझ नहीं आया कि like the reasoning and all. I'm sure
yeah,
like
it's a big conspiracy. Yeah.
हाँ मतलब but अब इसमें मैंने ये होता है ना कि मतलब फॉर एग्जांपल जब आपके पास पैसा आ जाता है, राइट, सो लाइक आप इसमें ड्रग्स में पड़ जाते हो, जो कहा कि सुशांत के सिमिलरली क्रिकेट पे आए ना, तो क्रिकेट में भी यही होता है ना कि फॉर एग्जांपल जब क्योंकि जो क्रिकेटर्स होते हैं दे डू नॉट कम फ्रॉम वेरी वेल ऑफ फैमिलीज, राइट, मतलब जो यूजुअली होते हैं जो विलेजेस से आ रहे होते हैं, दे वर्क हार्ड और ऑब्वियसली व्हेन दे सी दैट ग्लैमरस लाइफ, राइट, तो मतलब वो भी थोड़े पागल हो जाते
पृथ्वी
हैं,
शॉ प्राइम
ठीक है,
एग्जांपल.
एंड दैट इज व्हाई आई जस्ट फील लाइक कि जो आपका कोच होता है या आपका बोर्ड होता है, they're like a father figure to you, right? And it's very important for them to, you know, manage you really well.
Yeah.
कि अब यहाँ पर आप जैसे हम भी कनाडा आते हैं और हम भी इतनी सारी चीजें देखते हैं, but obviously we are educated.
Yeah.
कि हमें पता है कि किस तरह अपने आप को मैनेज करना है, obviously, but उनके पास एजुकेशन नहीं होती, they see that glamorous life and they're like यार चलो चिलिंग करते हैं, ये करते हैं, तो इतने केसेस हुए हैं कि यार हाथ से निकल गए हैं, उन पे केसेस हो गए, ड्रग्स मिल रहे हैं उनके बैग से, पता नहीं क्या क्या, स्पेशली पहले जमाने में तो बहुत होता था, अब तो हर जगह कैमरास होते हैं तो हर जगह पकड़े जाते हैं. But so any interesting thing coming up from IPL? Any interesting player that you know of?
Interesting player.
I'm sorry. I've been hearing a lot about Abhishek Sharma. He's very like promising, I've heard.
He's always been promising.
Yeah.
But again, Hyderabad in general is struggling. So उसका भी वो एक century वाला आया था, and that's pretty much it. So he's always gonna be a player to look out for. He's under Yuvraj Singh's wing. He literally Yuvraj Singh trains him. Yeah, so like वो उसका playing style भी वैसा ही है. He's ultra aggressive. He does not care. He's gonna be a part of the Indian T20 squad
Very
coming. Oh, he's already there. Like he's playing with that whole B team scenario जहाँ पे रोहित शर्मा तो खैर चलो अब नहीं है.
He's sort of a reserve player right now.
I think he's gonna be the opener along with Jaiswal.
Okay.
I think Jaiswal is also struggling at this point. But हाँ, Abhishek Sharma and Jaiswal in the next World Cup 100% they're gonna open.
अच्छा, you know, there was a time जब आप बोलते थे कि इंडिया की बैटिंग और पाकिस्तान की बॉलिंग, but I think in the recent times India ने अपनी बॉलिंग इतनी improve कर लिया है, especially after Bumrah. I think Bumrah has changed everything. Yeah. I think he's like the best bowler right now in ODI. Yeah, in ODI T20 cricket.
I think he's the best bowler overall. And मेरे हिसाब से इंडिया में batsmen have always been paid that respect and god level status.
Yeah.
इंडिया में कोई bowler उस level तक पहुंच नहीं पाया था. I have seen this live that शायद विराट कोहली के लिए भी इतनी cheering नहीं हुई थी जितनी जसप्रीत बुमराह के लिए हुई थी when he was bowling.
Okay.
That's a big thing to say. Okay. People all over.
Sorry, and that was during an IPL match that you saw?
No, this was in the World Cup, the India-Ireland World Cup I saw. And I've seen him in IPL as well. Delhi Mumbai के matches देखे हैं मैंने. Not at that time, but I think उस time तक Bumrah had achieved that level, and especially if you notice in BGT में every player struggled. It was only Bumrah who was consistent enough to perform, and even the Australians were paying him more respect than Kohli. And Australians have always been like very Kohli centric. The media is all around Kohli. But I think when you see Bumrah bowling, the entire 90,000 people were like they were cheering for Bumrah. You'll never see that with any player. So he's a player that has brought back that light of that bowlers win you tournaments.
Absolutely. मतलब अभी recently I was looking on social media के Coldplay का concert था, I think. I don't know, was it in Mumbai or Delhi? I don't know. I think it was in Mumbai. और उसको एक standing, like people were just mad. Like Coldplay को नहीं Bumrah आया, just free. That was nice, yeah. मतलब, so do you think he has achieved that Kohli level now in terms of popularity?
I think he's still,
because he deserves it.
Yeah. See, cricket is obviously a numbers game.
Yeah.
Right. Bumrah is not close to Kohli level when it comes to bowling. He's there. I think he's shown that he's a little peculiar in his skill. So he brings a fresh breath of air in the sport. But numbers are never gonna lie. Maybe if he's able to surpass James Anderson, for example, if he's able to surpass any other great fast bowler, Sahir Khan, for example. So वहाँ पे you can actually be like, he's one of the greatest of all times. He's a great bowler, yes, but he still have at least like 7 to 8 years in his career to prove that.
Yeah, just my dream is to just watch Virat Kohli play before he retires.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen him play live.
I did.
Live.
Yeah.
But have you seen an IPL match कभी और कैसा experience होता है IPL match का?
It's been a while. The last IPL match I saw was 2017 or 2018, I believe. Delhi Punjab ka match. It was a very fun match. So it's always been fun. I've always watched it in Delhi though. I would like to watch it in other stadiums. So Delhi is a very small ground.
ठीक है.
Very small ground. So
अहमदाबाद में देखते हैं जो 130,000 वाला
it's too big though. Like अगर आप कहीं पे भी बैठे हो स्टेडियम में, you are very far away from the pitch. So a ground like Eden Gardens, for example, Wankhede, yes, Wankhede in Mumbai, these are grounds that give you that cricket and the stadium experience. वो गुजरात वाला ground बहुत बड़ा है. Like अगर आप वहाँ पे binoculars लगा के क्रिकेट देख रहे हो,
विराट कोहली छोटा सा देखेगा.
हाँ, तो वो कोई भी खड़ा हो सकता है, आप और मैं भी हो सकते हैं. It won't make a difference.
वो concerts के लिए सही है.
हाँ, तो वो उस तक के लिए ठीक है. इतने बड़े ground for a stadium experience for a fan, I don't think they're optimal. But
चलो, very good cricketing insights. And guys, please follow Nishant's YouTube page. Link will be in the description below. So we'll end this quickly, and we'll end with your life. So obviously we explored like where were you born, or university, corporate life. So what are your future plans now? Like, do you intend to stay in India, in Canada? Do you intend to go back in India? Because हम off camera बात कर रहे थे, there's like a lot of reverse migration. Like, a lot of people are just going back to India. Not because people aren't able to find jobs here, but because people just want to go back because India is doing so well economically, right? So what are your thoughts? What are your plans?
I think for the 8 years that I've been in this country, मेरे दिमाग में कभी आया नहीं था that I want to go back. I was always headstrong that this is what my home's gonna be. This is where I'm gonna set my life with. I was head straight. For the first time ever, I went back to India recently, a month or two ago. For the first time ever, it came across my mind that coming back might not actually be a bad idea. At least I can come and try and see if it works out for me, and if it doesn't, I can always fall back here. So it's definitely on my mind. I do want to give at least a year or two to see how the corporate life is treating me. I'm trying to start my own business on the side as well. Because I don't think you can achieve that level of corporate, that level of luxury that you come with from subcontinent countries यहाँ पे as a first-gen immigrant. So I'm trying to start my business here and see how that goes, getting a taste of it. But I definitely do want to go back to India for a year or two and see अगर मैं पैसा कमा सकता हूँ for that 2-3 year stint, and maybe then want to come back. That's something that's at least in the cards now.
And why are a lot of people just going back to India? एक तो obviously ये option है because obviously Canada में महंगाई बहुत है, and people are just unable to afford, right? दूसरा ये है कि जो मैंने सुना है कि people like India में I can just do so much better in terms of my career, in terms of if I want to establish a business.
Yes.
So in the past few years, have you seen India grow economically?
Yes, 100%. Every time I go back, there's always something new and something interesting.
Okay.
And I think simple reason for that reverse immigration that's been pretty much happening for the last year or two, I've been observing it a lot among my friends and peers, is simple economies that for people, benefit of staying here is just not outweighing the cost. And they're like, maybe going back and like वहाँ पे growth ज़्यादा है, we have more comfort there, we have the comfort of our home, and I think it's quite mentally challenging to stay here by yourself as well. After a point it gets monotonous. After a point you start feeling that I have not a lot of people to talk to. My loved ones are like so many time zones behind me, and it just gets difficult. You are grown apart, so people are like maybe going back could be a fresh start.
And the fact that our parents are getting old every day, right? So that bothers you as well. Kitna dur rehna, is it worth it? Sometimes I personally feel that.
I think that's one major reason why it came across my mind. My parents relatively are very young, but still I feel like you know, like I'm growing up, they're missing out, and I'm missing out on them growing up. So I've always been sort of away from my family. Boarding school chala gaya ya ab yahan aa gaya. So for the last 10 years it has been just up and down. So that's one major reason why I want to give it a try and go back and see, you know, if that lifestyle suits me, I'll come back, or I'll not come back. But I think for a lot of people that are going back, though, at least from what I know, they're struggling with that independence wala portion that you find here, and then you sort of have to readjust back. So it's a reverse cultural shock with the migration.
Because also like you told na कि you never went out of Delhi या दोस्तों के साथ नहीं
Yes.
होते थे, and you came to the US, or sorry, came to Canada, right? So do you think coming to Canada helped you grow individually and professionally?
100%. I think I pretty much grew up here. I was a kid when I came, and I've become into the adult, the man I am right now, and I owe everything to this country for that. I don't think अगर मैं like in case अगर मैं सिर्फ इंडिया में रहता, my schooling would have been there, I would never have emigrated here. I don't think I'll be half of what I am right now, at least in terms of personal development. घर से बाहर निकल के बहुत अकल आती है, is what I
Absolutely,
want.
I agree कि सबको बाहर अगर मौके मिले ना, सबको निकलना चाहिए. मेरा भी
हाँ,
experience
एक बार आपको लाइफ में, like if there's one advice I can give to anyone out there is घर से बाहर निकलो,
सीधे हो जाते
थोड़े
हैं.
टाइम के लिए सीधे हो जाते हो, दुनिया की अकल आ जाती है. एंड सबसे बड़ी बात यह है, आप किसी पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं हो उसके बाद. You can live by yourself, you can sustain by yourself.
Absolutely. Or I think independence is बहुत important,
बहुत ज़्यादा.
like financially, everything. I think it's
ज़्यादा.
very important. But चलो Nishant, it was great having you.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for
much.
hopefully हम पाकिस्तान इंडिया में मैच हो तो हम साथ देखें और हम जीत जाए, पाकिस्तान जीत जाए.
हम भी यही होप करते हैं कि इंडिया जीते.
Yeah. And thank you so much for listening, guests, and see you guys in the next podcast.